You got to admit, it's a leap of faith, trusting that the Uber driver is going to show up on time when you set up your ride in advance. Let's face it. And then traffic. And then is the flight going to be delayed? Goes on and on. And then there's the whole thing about assigning seats. You got to go online and double check. Can you sit next to each other? And oh, wait a minute, how about your TSA number? Did you put that in so you don't have to go in line? Oh.
For your safety, we inform you that it's forbidden to use electric outlet to charge your electric devices. The integral link.
I don't even speak the Moroccan language. I have no idea what Islam is all about. Only the stuff I've heard on the news. It's not good. I'm a little nervous.
And don't manipulate your seat, as this will cause damage to your device and to the battery. Thank you.
As we enter the country, it becomes extraordinarily obvious. I'm immersed in a completely new universe of people, language, geology, food. It's as though someone has launched me onto another planet. Pardon, je parle anglais. I'm looking at architecture that may have stood for over 500 years. These Casbahs are designed to be fortresses to protect families of the Moroccan people. Sorry? Anglais. Anglais. Je parle anglais. I know very little of the Islamic religion, only what we've heard on the news. Much of it is not good. Je parle anglais. Anglais. I'm really excited to give this an open-minded look, to go firsthand and see, what are these people about? And it doesn't take long to realize they must be extraordinarily trusting in one another to drive and walk so close to each other.
Suicide.
We never read the memo from the hotel. You're not supposed to drive in through these small little souks. You're supposed to go to the parking lot and they'll bring you in. Sadly, the only reason I know Marrakesh exists and have ever heard the name was because of the Simon and Garfunkel song I grew up listening to. This place was a beehive of activity. People were working, going to school, prayer, building things, selling things. It just went on and on. There's only a few breaks each day where they would pray during Ramadan. As it turns out, there was one considerably difficult fly in the ointment. These Islamic people seem to have some obsession with carbohydrate. They seem to only eat bread. That's all they had available. Where's the peanut butter? Where's the protein sources? It led to some bigger problems down the road for me, which we'll get into later. Equally as alarming was the volume of motorcycles or mopeds, whatever you want to call them, that were traversing up and down the pedestrian walkways in these souks, which is basically a marketplace just for pedestrians. Apparently, they didn't get the memo that a motorcycle or a moped is a motorized vehicle and should not be in a situation where there are pedestrians. It's a miracle nobody got hurt. And on the flip side of that, I have never seen so many people crammed into such a small area, and the place was immaculate. People were washing the walkways, sweeping them, cleaning them. It was immaculate the entire time we were there. But when it's all said and done, let's face it, it's all about the food. The spices, the Moroccan blend, a mixture of several different spices, some of which we know here. We'll get into it later. Knock you off your seat. It was so delicious. Marrakesh is tucked up in the northwest corner of Africa, sandwiched between Casablanca and the Atlas Mountains, nestled in between the North Atlantic Ocean and the desert of Merzouga. The religious chanting would all of a sudden interrupt your daily activities, and you would just simply go about your business. Those that wanted to pray went into a mosque and did so. Those that didn't continued about their day. It was very respectful. At certain times of the day, the streets were a madhouse of crazy activity. Every guidebook we read explained the procedure of how to buy things and how to negotiate things. No matter what the price that they started out with was, you always went in at half. It was accepted. That was the way you were supposed to do business. But what they don't tell you is that you gotta buy if they share tea with you. If the guy pours you tea and makes you something and you sit down in their shop, you're buying something, or it's an insult. And that's what we found out.
Okay. Yes. After you come. Now I need your hand. Your hand here.
To try to put it another way,
Okay.
shopping in Marrakesh, or all over Morocco, is unlike anything you do in the United States. It's more of an experience. It's much more of a interaction with the vendor. You really don't just go in and do a quick, clean and dirty purchase. It's tied in with conversation, tea, so much more than anything I've ever experienced here in the United States. It was actually quite fun. I had no idea what Ramadan was until we landed in Morocco. And even after we left, I was still loosely aware. Number one, there is no sale of alcohol, no consumption of alcohol. You're not supposed to eat from sunrise to sunset. So they kept telling us, hey, come join me for breakfast at around 7, 8 o'clock at night. I didn't realize what the heck that meant either. Now it all makes sense. No sex. Basically, it's like Lent, except it's Ramadan for 30 days. This was a far cry from the Africa I had seen in the Congo. And it was highlighted by the fact that Ramadan really proved to me how devout these people are in respect of their own religion. Just imagine all the things that most of us really would rather not go without. Many people, including me, would flip out if you said, hey, no chocolate, let alone sex. Sorry, no sex. Well, guess what? You had to go without these things for 30 days. That is remarkable. I think that is the glue that holds a culture together. If you can go on without your most favorite things, you can do anything. Welcome to the algorithm. What I'm about to say to you, I know some may find very hard to believe, almost sacrilegious. But this is a true story. I'm 59 years old. I'm out to dinner with my daughter and my son, and they begin to tell me how people are going all the way to Hartford to be confirmed. I guess all these churches and whatnot. And I thought to myself, you know what? As we sit here in the town of Guilford, I too was once confirmed. And as I sat there, I thought to myself, I don't know what that really means. Now, I'm not trying to tell you, I can't pull it from my memory banks, but it's not coming. It's been a couple hours since dinner. I still don't know what it was. All I know was it was very important to my mother. I know it was very important to her Lithuanian family. My cousins and my aunts came, and there was ham, honey-baked ham. And there was jewelry given to me, necklaces, crosses. But I don't know what confirmation is. And this is not any disrespect to anyone that is devout in their religious practices. I'm just trying to be honest with you. I don't know what confirmation was. I was confirmed. I don't know what it is. It's as though there's a firewall set up inside my brain that will forever take that knowledge and keep it behind the wall. And I'll never know again. So, please respond to my quandary. I don't know what to make of this. And you have religious background. You taught catechism. You're extraordinarily well-read in the Bible and all things religious. I trust that you'll be able to. Can you tell me, what do you make of this?
Your firewall, or the ability to not remember your confirmation? what would you like me to comment on? Because confirmation, do you want me to spoil it for you?
Please go ahead. I'm ready to be spoiled
Are you
about
sure?
it. I am.
Okay. It's a declaration of your devotion to God. And you're on the brink of adulthood. It's different from when you're baptized as a child. It's you as an adult, or the cusp of adulthood, reconfirming your declaration to God. And typically you do it in front of the congregation, and your family and friends lay hands on you and they send messages of goodwill.
I see. So I'm devoted to God.
Mm-hmm.
I don't quite remember that. I'm sorry.
Scotty.
I'm just... All right. So the firewall. Is there a comment you can... Is this...
You know, I think your mind is very sharp and you remember what you want to. So my very deep philosophical thought is there might be something you don't want to remember.
I'm drawn to the desert like a moth to a flame. It's involuntary. It's innate. It's almost like in my DNA. I just have to get to Merzouga and swim in the sands of Erchevi. Well, there's a guy right up on my ass right now. That's insane. Why are you on my ass? I'm doing like 90, dude. I haven't quite figured out why I love foreign language so much. Is it because I just simply don't understand what they're saying? I'm so sick of hearing the crap that people talk about. It's refreshing. I've been working on this experiment that seems to be quite fruitful. Much of it has to do with the whole conundrum over, does talking about your problems actually help? Or does it just exacerbate them? Suddenly, we are jettisoned from the density of human activity in Marrakesh into the sparseness of the Atlas Mountains, and we stumble across Geode Road. The local Moroccans have discovered the landscape is sprinkled with magical gems we call geodes, where air pockets in the lava have created chemical jewels. What amazes me is that we tend to look at geology as a blah, blah, blah conversation when dinosaurs dominate everybody's discussion. But it is in these minerals where the excitement starts. Iron oxide and cobalt create red coloration in these amazing geodes, whereas titanium creates blue. Eventually, we began to realize that these geodes must be easily found if we just stopped and maybe rummaged through some of the rock outcroppings on the side of the road. Suddenly, Deborah looked off her shoulder and said, "There's one." I whipped over the car, jumped out, and look at what we found. A 25-pounder, just sitting in the open. As far as gems are concerned, I realize this is next to worthless to some. But in my heart, I feel like I've just found a geological anomaly that's worth $1 million in my own heart. In your mind's eye, the thought of a 5-hour drive would turn anybody off. But in this particular case, the Moroccan landscapes blew me away. Look at these beauties. Succulent desert. In the middle of nowhere, roadside dives that we normally would have associated with fast food had delicious, fresh cooked Moroccan vegetables and chicken. It doesn't make any sense to me that after all the education one receives, there's little talk about a mission statement, a personal mission statement. Traveling to Africa, exploring new cultures, testing my own boundaries. I see these far more important than what's in the bank account.
Finally, a dirt devil I can touch. Look at it! Oh, Dutch devil!
Proceed to the route.
Look at it!
Proceed to the route.
It's beautiful!
Look at it!
Come back.
Every hour, I was compelled to pull over to the side of the road and walk out into the desert. And here, it all paid off. I stumbled into millions of shards of selenite. fortune in gems, and I'd give it all for just a bottle of water. Oh my God. My God. Fortune and gems. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to become the next Simon Rushdie. I don't know the benefit of what it is to be praying every 4 hours, especially when you're being called to do so by a loudspeaker.
Proceed to the route. Proceed to the route. Proceed to the route.
The ability to choose and go without one thing or several things that you truly enjoy is very powerful. Ironically, I'm looking at a mammal that epitomizes the practice of going without: the camel.